Hello everyone, welcome to today's video, and today I will be comparing three different tools: Consensus, ChatGPT and Google. All these three tools are really important. Many of us are already using ChatGPT as well as Google for finding out various things, but we are not using Consensus. In this video, I'll try to tell you why we should use Consensus, and I'll also compare the output from all these different tools. And then I'll tell you the basic difference between all these tools. All right, before we move on to the video where we compare all these tools, I have a small video that I want to show you on Consensus. Please enjoy it.
Meet Consensus, the intelligent way to search for scientific research. Type in a question and let Consensus instantly sort and summarize trusted research findings all in one place. No more endless scrolling. With Consensus, you find what you need fast, clear, and verified. Compare studies effortlessly. Consensus allows you to analyze research from various sources side by side, helping you to make informed decisions quickly. Personalize your research experience. Create profiles that save your preferences, making it easier to access your most relevant topics. Collaborate seamlessly. Share your findings with colleagues and collaborate in real time, ensuring everyone is on the same page. Get Consensus today and simplify your research journey.
I hope you liked the video, and that video was just a snapshot of Consensus, few things that you can do. I've created another video which covers various aspects of Consensus. Please watch that video. That will tell you how you can efficiently use Consensus. And if after the end of this video, or maybe now, you want to use Consensus, specifically the pro version of Consensus, then what you can do is just look in the description box of this video. You will find a code, and that will give you a significant discount in your purchase. And you should be using Consensus on discounted price, the premium version of Consensus. So if you are a researcher, if you are academic, and you are working in the area where you are processing a lot of scientific information, please use Consensus, because this is going to make your life much easier, and you will get more refined information, more accurate information, and also the information which is peer-reviewed information. I've selected these three tools for a specific reason. So routinely what we do is, whenever we want to try to find a specific, whenever we try to find a specific information, we go to Google. Nowadays we are using ChatGPT, but there is something else that everyone should explore. That is Consensus. So in this video, I'll give you a brief overview of Consensus and how it works, what kind of information you can get from Consensus, and then we'll try to, at least compare the information that we'll get from Consensus, from ChatGPT and Google. And we'll analyze what kind of information we are getting from Consensus and why it is more relevant than ChatGPT and Google. So before we go into the tutorial part, it is very important to understand how actually searching anything works. So initially, whenever we do any kind of search, we'll always have this habit to go onto the Google and just Google it, right? And now how Google works is, whenever you type specific keywords, based on its popularity, based on various other factors, like Google also is going to give specific search results according to the revenue that they're getting, and it's also influenced by various factors. And then based on the keywords that you type, you will get the results out from the Google, and the results in the form of links, right? Maybe some information you'll get when the Gemini is incorporated in Google, but most of the information will be links, and you have to click on the link, and then you have to see what information is there. So you are not getting the answer that you are looking for in Google, but you are getting the links. So that is the output you get from Google. In second case, now because of this specific loophole, we have now ChatGPT. What ChatGPT does, where we ask a specific question, and then ChatGPT takes the information from the internet that basically is entire database which is present in Google, right? So that information is processed in a way, and you get a response from ChatGPT based on that particular information, which can be anything, which can be a website, which can be non-peer review information, which can be anything, any article basically. So that will be processed, and the output you will get from ChatGPT will be the summary version of that one. And we'll ask specific questions, and then we'll see what kind of information we are getting. The third one, which is I'm telling you, is Consensus. In consensus, what happens is the information or the question that you are asking, consensus is going to go through the peer-reviewed information, which is basically the peer-review articles, published articles, more authentic information that you have in the databases. Only that information will be processed. So it's really important to understand the difference between all these three, right? Where both of the other tools, they are working on the information that is available on the internet, but in case of consensus, the information is being processed, which is more reliable, more evidence based. So I hope I have clarified the differences. But when you see the response to specifically evidence-based questions, the response of all those questions, then you can analyze the information and see what kind of response you are getting. Especially if you are working in research, if you are working in an area where evidence is required, where citations are required, then tools like Consensus, they are going to help you a lot, because they are not going to only give you the information, which we'll see. It's also going to process the information, because now AI is also incorporated. So you can consider Consensus as a better version of, in terms of evidence-based information, better version of Google plus ChatGPT, because you also have AI incorporated in Consensus. So it becomes really relevant for us to use Consensus. And then if you are not getting any specific information, you can always go to various tools. But right now, I think preferably we should use Consensus for specifically important questions, when you want evidence, when you want specific literature which is backing up that information. In case of ChatGPT, that is not going to happen, and there are other loopholes when you're using ChatGPT or any other AI tools. All right, let's start with the tutorial. So all right, I think we have discussed a lot. Now I will use the computer for that. So first I'm going to do is I'll show you all the interfaces, and then I'll also talk about Consensus a little bit. I have made a complete video on Consensus, how you can use it, what are the various features. So I'm not going to go into the detail of that, but you can also see that video and know how you can use Consensus, right? And the version, which is basic version, is free, but if you want the maximum out from Consensus, then you should try the premium version. I'm using the premium version right now. So I have a lot of functionalities available to me. So what I'm going to do is, initially I'm going to ask one question from Consensus, and then another one, the same question from Google, and then third, which is I'm going to use in this case, is ChatGPT. And for ChatGPT, I also have the pro version. So let me open everything out, and then one by one, I already have decided few questions, highly relevant questions. So using that, we can compare the response, and based on my knowledge, based on my experience, I can tell you why you should be using these different tools for what kind of purposes. Because every tool, yes, they have their advantages, and then if you are handy with all these tools, definitely if you are able to understand what kind of information you are getting, and when you want to use this tool, when you want to use that tool, that is going to make you more productive, and that is going to make your life much easier. So we'll start, this is the ChatGPT right over here, and then we should also open Google, which is automatically it's going to open because we use Google all the time, right? Okay, so we have Google, we have ChatGPT, and we also have Consensus. These three tools are available to us. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask specific questions that I've already defined. So let's ask the question related to very general topic that you can understand, not a research-based question. I usually ask a lot of research-based question, right? So it's related to our nutrition. So the question I'm asking to Google is coffee consumption is linked to reduced heart disease risk? Right? So this is something that we want evidence, we want references, we want to go to those references and see what kind of results they are trying to propose in that. So this is the question, and if I enter, I'm not doing anything. So first response, usually what you see is, now cleverly Google is also incorporating the Gemini response right over here. So you can also get a response in other languages like Hindi, you can get in English based on where you are, and you can also see it more. So this is more like the ChatGPT kind of response, AI generated response, right? And some links are provided, and okay, so it says yes, moderate coffee consumption may link to lower risk of heart disease. So that means moderate, right? So it tells you that the consumption of the coffee should be moderate. It should not be very high. Otherwise, obviously, anything in very high quantity is going to be not good for your health. Okay, then there are some other information that you get, and that's it. Now, If you see in Google, you will find articles. Now I'm getting this response, which is from I think PubMed Central, where impact of coffee consumption on cardiovascular health. So that could be one of the reviewed information, but it's the article. I'm not getting summary of this, right? And then if I go down, I'm getting some other questions that people also have related to same kind of a topic. Then again, it's all those links that you're getting. Many of the links, they could be anything, but most of these are not journal article, but these are just links. So I have to go to these links and then read them out and then try to understand what the information is. But here Google has done a good job in summarizing the information. But let's see, as you can process this information, that is not quite good enough, right? And it also gives me, wants me to give thumbs up or no thumbs up for this one. So you can help the algorithm to improve. So as you can see, it's telling you a little bit information. So but I don't see any kind of specific references. Okay, so some references are also provided right over here, linked to these things. So this is the response. So let's go to the ChatGPT, and I'm going to paste this information right over here. And what you're seeing, it's going to search web. It's telling me obviously that it's going to search the web. And look at this. So what I'm getting in this case, it says yes, moderate coffee consumption is associated with reduced heart disease. So that is probably, it's also the same response I'm getting. At the same time, I'm not getting any specific sources, but one source, that is Harvard Health, which could be a good source. But in this case, also look at this, only one source. And then it's also could be an article, right? Drinking coffee linked to healthier heart and longer lives. So it processed that information and then gave me the output on that. And this is it. I mean, I'm not happy. I can improve this response by giving different prompts, right? But I'm just typing this one, and for designing specific prompts, it's also going to take a little bit more time and effort from your side. So you don't want to do that, right? So in case of the third one, which is consensus, I'm going to ask this question directly. And if I click on the search tab, you will see what kind of information you are getting. So look at that. You are getting answer in the form of consensus meter. So it's telling you it's not always true. There are some other options that you can have, which is yes, possibly, and no. So that means it's processing all the published papers, all the articles that are published in that area, and then deciding based on the data that is processing, how many articles in favor, how many articles against it, and all that information is peer reviewed information, because you can see this, right? So you can clearly see that 50% of the people, they are saying yes, possibly they are not sure, 25%, and 25% of the people, they are saying no, this could not be the case. So you cannot rely on that information that we got from Google and ChatGPT, which is really interesting. And also when it comes to our important things like health and all other important information that we want to have, especially the evidence-based, the peer review based information, look here, the result is like this, right? So 50% is yes, but possibly you also have other articles suggesting against this particular hypothesis. So you can see key findings are mentioned, and you have different references, reference 1, reference 2. All these papers are from good journals. They are peer review journals. So that means they have gone through that checking by expert kind of exercise. And then impact of in this one, what you are getting is one is consensus meter. So based on this, you can be more confident, you can be less confident, right? And then you also have key findings. So it's going to talk about risk of cardiovascular disease on the consumption of the coffee, impact on CHD, heart failure, biomarker and mechanisms, mortality. It's telling you everything, right? Lower risk of all cause CVD mortality. So that means you're getting the information which is processed, but you're also getting other dimensions of the same information. Then conclusion is also being provided. Moderate coffee consumption, 3 to 5 cups per day, generally associated with a reduced risk, right? So you should not be drinking coffee all the time, but in particular concentration, the antioxidant properties is going to give you some benefit in case of reducing inflammation and oxidative stress, which is good. And then in addition to this, consensus is going to give you another different or similar questions that you can immediately explore. Effect of coffee on biomarkers of cardiovascular health, long-term impact of coffee consumption on cardiovascular health. These are the references that you can get out from this. So I think this is another dimension, and everyone should be exploring. When you're done with Google, when you are done with ChatGPT, you should definitely go to consensus and find out answer to these important questions. Okay, so I think I really like this idea, and you can have more results where consensus is doing great. And you can keep doing same thing, and then you can find, as this is the tagline, as you can see, find the best science faster. So if you are interested in specific science-based questions that are really relevant to environment, really relevant to some of the topics that directly related to you, you should at least explore consensus, see what kind of response you are getting, all the articles you are getting, and then that information you should be processing along with the information you'll get from other resources. All right, so I have tried my best to compare the information that you get from all the tools. As I've already told you that there are advantages and disadvantages of every tool. Depending upon your need, you might not be interested in evidence-based information. You might be interested in just the response, more like internet-based response or quick response that you want to have. Then you can use ChatGPT. It's going to work fine. But if you are interested in evidence-based information, then consensus is very, very good. You can use Google. Google is also providing you some of the links. Gemini specifically, you cannot rely on just Google, because Google is going to give you the information. Then you have to scroll down and click on all the articles, and that will take really lot of time from your side. But at the same time, consensus is going to make your life easier when it comes to evidence-based answers. All right, thank you so much for watching the video. I'll meet you in the next one.